can't stop me. I'm telling you fools that I got nothing left to lose. Broken and bruised, black and blue, still on the move. And I'm showing the world I still got a lot more to prove. Now I'm coming out, swinging for your throat to ring. Standing there bleeding, yeah, you know what I bring. You know what I mean? Dark when the bell is rung, cause it's a little too late now to tell me run. You're broken every part of me. I'm putting it up in down. I keep rising higher, higher, higher now. Don't fuck with me. Never gonna hold me down. I keep rising higher, higher, higher. The world can't stop me now. You see it's the calm before the storm. I was born for more, now you got me ready for war. Remember my name, everybody out of my way. Back up or get knocked out, this ain't a game. Cause I never stay down when they push me around. See the world stand up when they give me the crown. Now it's no time, do or die, dead or alive. You can try to kill me, but I will survive. I will survive. You're broken every part of me. I'm putting everything down. I keep rising higher, higher, higher now. Don't fuck with me. Never gonna hold me down. I keep rising higher, higher, higher. The world can't stop me now. You can't stop me. Can't stop me. No, 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 you can't stop me. I'm bloodied and I'm beaten down. I keep rising higher, 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 higher. You're broken every part of me. I'm bloodied and I'm beaten down. I keep rising higher, higher, higher now. Don't fuck with me. Never gonna hold me down. I keep rising higher, higher, higher. The world can't stop me now. Can't stop me, no, can't stop me.
What's up, everyone? How we all doing today? So, welcome back to L Train Fighters. As always, I'm Athen.
And I'm Niko, and welcome back to another wonderful, spectacular episode of the L Train Fighters. It's great to have you guys back, eh?
Yeah. So today's right now, Don is not here. I'm not sure if he'll be showing up or not. I'm going to be continuing to try to get a hold of him. And we will go on with some stories. So, we do have a few stories that I've got picked out for us today. Do you have anything that you wanted to talk about there, Don? Or Niko? Jesus.
Wow. Is that what we're doing? My God, if we were in bed, I would have kicked you out for that. No, how was your weekend, bud?
So far, so good. So, just been doing the normal.
Yeah, for sure. Same. Yeah, it was uneventful. The weather here was like kind of crappy. It was really rainy. We had a couple of storms here. Cloudy, dark, depressing, and cold.
Oh, damn.
And then today it was bright, sunny, and pretty, and cold. So, yeah, I don't know, Florida weather, man. It's weird.
So, yeah, it's been actually really nice out here this last week. Like 60s and all that stuff, which is really unusual for this time of year.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, but yeah, let's go ahead and hit up a couple show or stories that I've got. So, here we go. We'll go with this one. So, got a story about the PS5, and it needs a great new co-op shooter. And Outriders isn't it. So, Outriders is yet another forgettable loot shooter. Outriders is the most forgettable looter shooter I've played in a long time. Playing the co-op shooter Looters Prologue as part of the free demo, I felt nothing but sheer boredom. Every bit of lore fed to me poured out of my brain immediately. Every character's name a fleeting memory, and every bit of gear as beige as the last. There's something to be said about a game that loses you within the first few minutes. The Outriders demo has done nothing for me except guarantee that I absolutely won't be buying it upon release. I won't even be picking up the demo again if I can help it. But what stings most about Outriders' lackluster offering is that Square Enix had such a big opportunity in its lap. As one of the few brand new co-op shooters landing on PS5 and Xbox Series X, and one of the very first of 2021, Outriders could have cemented its place as PS5's must-have co-op shooter. Instead, it was a wasted opportunity. So we got a link here if you want to try the Outriders free demo.
Well, I mean, I have two questions about this. First off, who wrote this article? And second off, who hurt him?
This is from Tech Radar.
Oh my God. He sounds extremely upset.
Sounds like the game hurt him. So
yeah, like show me on the doll where the game hurt you. Like,
so
what?
The co-op shooter is seeing a resurgence in a time when people are most wanting to feel connected. So co-op shooter, for example, would be something like Gears of War, or Gears of War was a little bit of a co-op shooter, but Army of Two was definitely a co-op shooter.
Yeah.
In a time when people are most wanting to feel connected, there's nothing that achieves that goal quite like teaming up with a friend a couple nights a week to take on some big bad. And given how oversaturated big bad, really, and given how oversaturated the PvP market is, it's a smart move for developers to make. Even COD back in the day could have been considered a co-op shooter because you were always able to run the campaign on co-op on old Call of Duties.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, when the first few titles. Yeah.
2021 looks to be the year of co-op shooters with the likes of Halo Infinite, Back 4 Blood, and Alien Fireteam, all slated for release. So Outriders is in a very fortunate position being the first horse out of the gate on both PS5 and Xbox Series X to offer fans the brand new next-gen shooter experience they've been after. But while Halo Infinite is likely to claim the must-have co-op shooter crown on the Series X, the coveted title remains up for grabs on PS5. Sure, there are a handful of co-op shooters on PS5 already, many of which are either PS4 games being played via backwards compatibility or PS4 games with next-gen enhancements. But there's nothing new. With the Outriders demo, Square Enix was presented with a chance to get those co-op shooter fans under its wing to rip them away from the likes of Destiny and The Division and offer them a brand new cooperative shooter to sink their teeth into. And a demo is a fantastic idea. It gives players the chance to try out the game before they drop their hard-earned money on it and to provide feedback. But it's also meant to grip us. So yeah, they're saying that Outriders is not a good game. That's not to say that this can't sometimes be a good thing. So they're not really getting too much into why it's bad, but there's another article here that actually has a link for the demo, which is going to probably get more into why they didn't like it. So I'll link the... Oh, we got a bunch of comments there. So we got Shelly Rich King saying we sound good. And Julie Rose, Little Spud Remain checking in saying hi. So here's the link for that free demo, plus it'll be the article I'm about to read right here. Right. So can't wait until April to get your hands on Outriders 2, or simply want to try the co-op sci-fi looter shooter out before you buy it. Then you're in luck, as Square Enix is offering players a chance to do just that. Outriders may not be officially released until April 1, but Square Enix has released a free demo ahead of the game's release to give players a chance to try out the title beforehand. So gather up the squad, Here's everything you need to know about the free Outriders demo, including when it's available and how you can play. All right. So here at Tech Radar, we were trying out the Outriders demo for ourselves, and not all of us are particularly impressed. Check out the video above, where Tech Radar's gaming editor Vic Hood, senior gaming writer Adam Vijestica, and video producer Matt Phillips discuss sci-fi shooters pros and cons and whether they'll be buying the full version at launch. So what is Outriders and what does the demo include? Outriders is an upcoming sci-fi co-op shooter from Square Enix, and People Can Fly, which is initially due for release in December 2020, was initially due for release December 2020 before being delayed to February 2021 due to operational challenges caused by COVID-19. This February release window was then narrowed down to February 2nd, but now we won't get our hands on the game until April 1st. Set in a dark sci-fi universe, Outriders can be played with up to 3 other players and is a drop-in, drop-out shooter, meaning players can join and leave without affecting the game. The demo will allow you to play the game's prologue and opening chapter up to the showdown against the first rivaled Altered, although after defeating Goss, you'll be able to go back and explore the world with some further side missions being unlocked. It's worth noting that you can't play co-op until you've completed the game's prologue. The prologue is about an hour long, but does stand between you and matchmaking. But once it's completed, you can play with others whenever you want. Players will also have access to 4 character classes up to level 7. This means you will be able to unlock and pick 4 abilities, plus spend 2 skill points and try different variations among the characters therein. There will be 6 character slots in the demo too. In addition, you can progress to World 5, where resources are capped at generous amounts. According to the developers, the further you get in the full Outriders story, the more twisted, exotic, and powerful both gear and enemies will become. You can find out more here. So it doesn't sound like it's too horrible of a game.
I don't know, man. I mean, don't tell that to the first guy that wrote the article. My God, that ruined his entire life, apparently.
So it says you'll be able to, if you get the demo and you play the demo, your progress on the demo will carry over to the full game. It's going to be for consoles. It's going to be a 22 gig game, maybe more than that. And does the demo support crossplay? It does, but developers have stipulated that crossplay will be in beta form.
I think it sounds cool. From the other part that you were talking about, I hadn't heard about it until just now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it sounds kind of cool. Like, I would like to check that out. I don't know what the first guy's problem was, but Jesus. What happened in his life that made him so pessimistic? But I think it sounds kind of cool.
The description sounds good. It sounds like they're sorry, I just got a message from my mom.
Hi, Mom.
I guess they just got in a bad accident and totaled their truck.
Oh, shit. Are they okay?
Yeah, she said they're okay, but
damn.
That's shitty.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I totally lost train of my thought. But anyways, what he was talking about was so the description of the games, it actually sounds really good. It sounds like they've got a good concept and all that stuff with it. But just like with, say, Fallout 64 or whatever it was. Fallout
76,
yeah.
Yeah.
Fallout 76, that's how forgettable that game was. See? Just like with Fallout 76, the way it was explained and the way it sounded was, it was going to be a freaking amazing, awesome game. And I was, waiting for it when it came out. Even I was just, horribly disappointed with it because it was kind of boring with the fact that you were alone in the world. I mean, there were other characters, there were other players, but it just didn't feel like Fallout. You know
what? And I got on I was the same way. I was so excited for Fallout 76 to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next few days after its release, everybody's like, "Oh no, don't get it." Or then there's "Yeah, no, get it. It's great. It's this, it's that." And so I got on a forum that I usually go on, Drinking Bros, Drinking Bros Gaming, Drinking Bros Nerds. And I'm like, man, you guys, I need your help. You guys have never steered me wrong before. I want to get Fallout 76. I want to buy it. I want to check it out. Like, what do you guys think? For every good thing that I hear about it, I hear something bad about it. So now I'm like kind of on the fence, and I don't want to just throw money at something that I'm not gonna enjoy. And everybody there was like, you know what, man, do it. Just throw caution to the wind. Whatever. It is what it is. Take the leap. Whatever. And I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. So I did, and I played it for a long time. I actually am a fan of Fallout 76. I wish I could play it right now, like on this computer. This computer won't run it, but if it did, oh my god, I would absolutely be playing it right now. It wouldn't even be on ATF right now. I'd be playing Fallout 76. Like, I like it. I enjoy it, and I've always been a big fan of the Fallout games, even 1 and 2. The top-down versions on the old 90s PCs. My god, I love Fallout. And then when Fallout 3 came out, that blew my fucking mind. But yeah, I like 76. I'm sorry, unpopular opinion, I guess, but
it didn't feel like Fallout. It wasn't a Fallout game because as like what they promised when they were telling us about it was like, a multiplayer Fallout experience, which everyone always wanted.
Yeah.
But it didn't have any of the NPCs and all that stuff, and like your other interaction with other players was kind of hit and miss because sometimes they'd be there, sometimes they wouldn't. That was always just kind of a pain in the ass to me, and it's like not having the vendors to go to, not having the NPCs to go to, the whole bustling, feeling like it's a live world that is Fallout, and even Elder Scrolls games, like just that the world feels alive and it feels lived in, is what I like about the Fallout games. And Fallout 76 you didn't get that feeling, So,
and you know what? I didn't get that feeling from Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls Online. I didn't really, but any of those actual MMO type games like that. With the free-to-play ones, I've never really been a big fan of them. Like, I know ESO is a fairly popular game. Like, a lot of people play it. A lot of people like it.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes with, like, Neverwinter. That's what it's called, right? Yeah, Neverwinter Nights. And then there's
Neverwinter. Yep.
several other free-to-play MMOs that are pretty popular, but I just I can't really get into those.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the classical MMORPG game in general at this point, I've lost interest in general because, like, used to be a big WoW player. I can't do WoW anymore, like, at all. So,
man, I still want to get into. I still have not to this day, as long as World of Warcraft has been out, I have not played it, not once. I want to. I really want to, but I still have never.
I mean, at this point in the game, it's probably a bad time to get into World of Warcraft, because, the game's been running for 15 years now. It's like
I know it's been out for a long time.
They just released the vanilla one, which was basically a re-release of the game from way back when it first came out. So, that just dropped, and that was pretty popular. And, a lot of people were waiting for that because they wanted to just get back to the roots of World of Warcraft, right? So, but I think World of Warcraft is kind of starting to fall off because it was the same basic shit every single expansion. Just, every expansion they'd drop 10 more levels to the level cap. So it became a grind to level up. And really, you were just racing to be able to get into dungeons and get into raids and get your gear and then get to the higher level raids and, finish the expansion and then wait for the next one.
So it's basically more like work than having fun playing a game.
and then and then in PvP they took
see.
they took everything out of PvP. Basically, in order to do PvP, you'd go into an arena, everyone would be boosted to like a balanced level, and then everyone had the exact same gear. It was like legitimately you had to use PvP arena type gear for it and all that stuff. So just put everyone on the exact even tier and all that stuff, which I guess is testing more of your actual skill as a player. But you know, the whole being able to build your character and customize your character and all that stuff was kind of what was fun with all that, and the actual just kind of more random type PvP other than just the forced pushed PvP like what they're going to nowadays. I don't know. They changed a whole lot. So
Yeah, well, it's making it in those types. It's making it feel like more like work.
mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to. I don't want to work for what. I mean, I can understand grinding. I can understand that, you know, and doing missions and going through stuff to level up my character and that I can get that. But when it feels more like it's a job, like more of a chore, like that's kind of a turnoff.
Yeah,
right?
And I had that kind of experience in the game called Life is Feudal. Like this game looked like it was going to be kind of the dream type MMO. It's like, you know, like how old school Ultima Online was. You'd have to know what Ultima Online was to understand it. But Ultima Online was, you know, one of your first actual MMOs. It was more based around, you know, old school like English type mythology. The land that you lived in was called Britannia and all that stuff. And it had a very unique feel and very unique air about it, right? And this game, Life is Feudal, was from the creators of Ultima Online, and they were effectively making Life is Feudal to copy what the original Ultima Online was. So it was open world, and then they actually went a little bit further with things because they were able to use this gen type things. So it was like, you know, completely destructible terrain and all that stuff, and really nice, you know, graphics and, you know, all that, just nice feel to it. But I got into the game and I was trying to play, and sadly, it's one of those games where you can't really be able to play and achieve anything without being in a clan. So I got recruited into a clan. I was like, awesome, this is going to be cool. So, you know, starting to do things with the clan. They're like, oh, but, you know, you have to pick a job. I was like, okay, well, I'll do, you know, lumberjack and blacksmithing. And they're like, okay. So if you want, they're like, okay, so you're going to be a lumberjack and a blacksmith. I was like, yep. They're like, okay, well, need you to show up at this, you know, point of the area of every day. And basically, for a couple hours every day when I played, we had to go out and clear cut forests. And it was like we go out as a crew and clear cut forests and just gather up as much wood as we can and bring it back. And I'm like, really, this is what I'm expected to do every day when I play? And they're like, yep. And I'm like,
at what point does it feel like that you gotta like fill out a W-2 for that?
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Like, should I get a tax form back from this on April 15th? Like, what the hell is going on here? Eh?
Like, it absolutely didn't feel like a game anymore. Like,
it's a job.
So,
it feels like a job at that point. Like, come on, I'm trying to play a game. A game, the whole definition behind a game is it's supposed to be fun. This isn't fun. This is work. Well,
so
yeah, there's a fine line.
yeah,
that crosses it.
That's true. So I don't know what's up with Don. I haven't heard from him at all. So I guess we're just gonna keep going on with it our way. So
Let's go. If he comes, he comes. If not, then I'm sorry, bud.
So
Missed the party.
right. So I got another story here. I got several stories. I actually pulled several stories for this week. Thankfully. So
Bless you.
thank you. I don't know if you guys had heard about it at all anytime in the past, But there was supposed to be a BioShock movie, but it was canceled. So, and this article is about why the BioShock movie was canceled. And this is from GameSpot. So this was written on March 4th. I got a ferret underneath the blankets over here next to me.
Yeah.
So
You know what I gotta say? If the BioShock movie was based on, I skimmed through this article that I think you're about to read, or something similar to it. If the BioShock movie that they're talking about was based on the first or second BioShock, I don't give a shit for it because I didn't care for BioShock 1 or 2. However, if they had a BioShock Infinity movie, oh my God, I would have got such a boner for that. I love BioShock Infinity.
To me, it would make sense if they were doing it, like if the first movie they were making or the movie they were making was based off of BioShock 1, because kind of you'd want to do it in a series. So BioShock 1, BioShock 2, and then BioShock Infinite, kind of thing. Yeah. Unless they were just wanting to do one movie. But we'll get into the article and we'll find out what the article has to say about it.
Yes. Let's see.
What the fuck are you doing, Ferret?
BioShock Infinity was
so Pirates of the Caribbean director Gore Verbinski has spoken about the cancellation of his BioShock movie that was in the works a long time ago. Speaking to Collider, Verbinski said he was in trouble from the very beginning as he pitched the movie as a rated R film that needed a gigantic budget. The executives at Universal apparently balked. It was strange. My first meeting at Universal on BioShock was sitting in a room and saying, "Hey, guys, this is a $200 million rated R movie." And it was silent. I remember my agent going, "Why did you say that?" I'm like, "Because it is." He said, Why just even trying to kill what? Why just even trying to kill a movie you haven't even started? That's before getting a scripted before anything. Whoever wrote this article,
English fucker mother speak it, do you?
So
excuse me?
I just want to be clear, and I think who are they getting to
Well,
write
you're
these
not trying
articles?
very hard, are you? You just want to be clear.
Jesus. Okay. And I think everybody at the studio was like, well, yeah, okay, maybe. Wow, no, it's big. We know. What? According to Verbinski,
does this actually say this? Like, are you reading this word for word?
I'm reading it verbatim.
Dude, you're going to give me a seizure if you keep going. Let's just stop now.
Hopefully
and
the rest
find something better.
The rest of the article looks like it gets a little bit better. So, I don't know. According to Verbinski, Universal chickened out and didn't agree to Verbinski's idea to make an R-rated movie with a huge budget. Verbinski said Universal might have been wary to greenlight BioShock because 2009's Watchmen had just released and it struggled at the box office as an R-rated film with a big budget. So how long ago were they pitching this?
I don't know, but I got lost from when it was just random words. This car, truck, railroad track, tarp, grass, trees.
So there was a little bit of these movies need to be PG-13. If they cost that much, they need to be PG-13. Yeah, I guess. But what's the deal? So they pitched this all the way back in like 2009, and they're just saying now in 2021 that it's canceled. Like overall, Verbinski said it was a glorious waste of time working on the BioShock movie. It's too bad, he said, because BioShock has a great story. He also teased that he was thinking about an idea that would have given viewers the opportunity to see both endings. I think that's one of the few video game narratives that actually has a great story. It's Oedipus.
Oedipus.
Okay. Yeah. It's got a great narrative flow. It's got a sort of untrustworthy narrator. Verbinski said, obviously, the big plane crash was a huge set piece, the entry into that world. There was a lot of storyboarding with a lot of previs. There was playing with how to have both endings. I don't know if you're familiar with the game, but dissecting that faint to the happy ending. And then still having the unleashed version of the ending. We were trying to achieve that, which was really exciting. Where if you watch the movie, you get both the set piece thing to me. I don't like generic action if there's not story through line.
How would does it? Is there anything that says how it would have been filmed? Would it have been in like live action or like actual real people actors or like CGI like get Pixar, Toy Story, that kind of thing?
It's not really saying, but if they're going for a 200 million budget and rated R, I would assume they're going live action with it, or they wanted to go live action, but it doesn't actually say.
Don't be so sure. A lot of the computer animated graphics they go for a lot more than that.
So BioShock creator Ken Levine also commented on the cancellation of the BioShock movie, saying in 2017 that it was Watchmen's struggles that led to its demise. He said Universal got cold feet after seeing Watchmen struggle at the box office with its big budget. Levine went on to say that Verbinski was not interested in making a BioShock movie with a reduced budget or a PG-13 rating, so he left. So they brought another director in, and I didn't really see the match there. Take-Two is one of those companies that gives a lot of trust to their creative people. So they said to me, if you want to kill it, can kill it, and I killed it. Levine did not name this new director outright, though it was previously revealed that Juan Carlos Fresnadillo from 28 Weeks Later and Intact was brought on following Verbinski's departure. And the status of BioShock movie today is unknown. And that's it.
I think it would be cool if there was a BioShock movie. And I was just talking shit a few minutes ago about 1 and 2. It's not that I hated BioShock 1 and 2. I played them all, 1, 2, and Infinity. And they're all great games, but I think Infinity was the best.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard to say for a game. It's like movies. If you watch a sequel to a movie, you're like, this isn't as good as the first one. Well, the third one in BioShock was the end all be all of the BioShock series. I love BioShock Infinity. Did you ever play it?
Yeah, I played that one.
Oh my god, it was so good, dude. Oh my god, I think it blew. It's funny that I'm using this this phrasing, but I think it blew BioShock 1 and 2 out of the water.
Right.
Pun intended. Absolutely intended.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I loved it, man. Oh my god, I loved it.
So it's like, what was I gonna say? I don't remember what I was gonna say. So, I'm looking for stories right now. I got a couple others that I already have pulled up, but I'm seeing what I've got in my notifications. So, I don't really have a lot of tech stuff popping up in my notifications right now. Well, that might work. Hold on. Checking all my notifications, and I'll get to these stories.
Yeah, for sure.
So, really wish Don had said something about not being here today.
Would you live on Mars if the opportunity came up?
Probably not.
I would. Come get me right now. Let's go. Put me on the shuttle immediately. I absolutely would. Why wouldn't you?
Just cause I don't know. I have too much. Like I can't just drop everything to go, live on Mars.
Well, I mean, not just you though. Like if they came and knocked on your door right now, like okay, pack up your wife, get your kids together, bring some clothes, get your pets, bring some food, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about your expenses. Like, I mean, who gives a shit about expenses anyway? You're about to go live on another planet. What is it going to matter? You would not say, Okay, let's go. Or what?
I probably wouldn't know just because.
What?
No, not Mars
I would.
anyway.
I would. I absolutely would. But
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a stipulation that would be like, okay, can I bring my dogs? Yeah, you can bring your dogs. Let's go. I'm down.
Yeah.
Take off.
So I got a couple more stories here. So I got this one. It's going to be kind of a carry on from one we talked about a little bit ago. Players were farming so many legendaries in the Outriders demo it had to be changed. So Outriders isn't even out yet, and already it's had a lost. It's had and lost the loot cave. Oh wow, really? Forthcoming looter shooter Outriders seems to have found a way around the curse affecting loot-driven games last year by offering a free demo with the promise that progress will carry over into the full game. Apparently, over 2 million players have taken developers people. Apparently, over 2 million players have taken developers people can fly up on the. Jesus Christ! Why are these guys writing these articles so horrible?
What
There's no
is happening, dude? Right now.
on the offer. So, but a few too many of those players also took their opportunity to farm hordes of legendary items so they'll be ready for the full game. Players had discovered that by selecting the story point, confront the altered at the tower in the lobby at World Tier 5, they could zip past 3 chests with a high chance of containing legendaries without having to fight anyone. Then they ducked back into the lobby and repeated the process. People Can Fly responded to this loot cave situation. Okay, so People Can Fly must be like YouTuber or something. Apparently, over 2 million players have taken developers People Can Fly up on the offer so far, but a few too many of those players also took the opportunity to farm. Okay, so People Can Fly must be the developer of this game. People Can Fly responded to this loot cave situation with a tweak that made legendaries impossible to find by opening chests, though they still drop from enemies. Okay, so People Can Fly responded to this loot cave situation with a tweak that made legendaries impossible to find by opening chests, though they still drop from enemies. Players weren't happy about this since it meant that after going to the trouble of defeating the Ghost boss, they were opening his chest and getting ordinary rewards. People Can Fly have since tweaked the tweak, and now the Ghost boss chest will have a chance to contain legendaries, though no others will. So they're just like, you guys are abusing the fact that these legendaries drop, so now you can't have it no more.
Yeah, right. And I'm sorry. However, that was written, you lost me again. But,
Well, so the part right there that there was only one part in it that was confusing, but it's because the developer of the game is called People Can Fly. So that confused me a whole lot over the grammar and all that stuff. Like apparently over 2 million players have taken developers People Can Fly up on the offer so far. So have taken developers People Can Fly. There should have been a comma there.
Okay. Yeah. I get it now. All right. That's the name of the. Okay. All right. Yeah. I got it.
It was a little confusing at first. I figured it out a little bit through the article.
Corner, man. I was like, the fuck?
Damn, man, he raised worse than me.
I know, right? My God.
All right. So, but yeah, that's the follow up to Outriders. I mean, and all these things that Outriders being hit with like that are the reasons why, like it's gonna tank the game. People are gonna be like, okay, their devs and all that stuff, they're just freaking knee jerking with fixing bugs and all that. Like that's gonna affect the end of the game. Like how many people actually ultimately end up buying it and playing it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like this demo may have completely screwed them over.
And you know what? I've never believed in releasing alpha and beta versions of
Well,
games.
this isn't even an alpha or a beta. This is just a demo of the game. So, but I do agree with dropping alphas and betas because it allows the games to be play tested, so they can find bugs. So, and it used to be, you had to apply to become an alpha or beta tester, and you'd get accepted, and you'd get a code to play the game, and you're able to play the game for a period of time, and it would allow the developers to stress test the game to and find out any bugs and have an opportunity to fix the bugs before release. Now what they're doing is they're dropping games and having you pay for them, kind of just making them a public game in alpha phase. So you buy a full game and then they kind of run the game like they normally would, but in alpha. And I had this discussion with Mickey a couple weeks ago. It's like this whole new thing with the way they're dropping games in the pre-release type phase, all that stuff is helping a lot of more indie developers be able to drop games, because with this type of mechanic to selling games and all that stuff, they don't they don't have to put the whole funding in to create a complete done game. They can get a game started and get money to keep building it while people are testing it and letting them know how it should be kind of changed and what'll help get the game to a point where everyone wants to play it. And I like that model, and it's like I said, it's helping a lot more indie games come out and become big games and all that stuff, like freaking Valheim. 5 dudes, 5 guys are the developers for that game. That's it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, small team. So, but I
Valheim
think
even released in pre-release too. It's not even full. It's basically in beta right now. So, but that's because it's a small team, and it's an expensive game, so they need to get the funding to complete the game. And why not get input from the people who are going to be playing it to know how we can make it better? So, but yeah. So there's that. But I like betas and all that stuff. And I mean, I'm kind of iffy about this whole pre-release thing that has been happening lately, because a lot of companies are just dropping pre-release games just to drop them. It's kind of become the new norm. Whereas, like I said, it was being used by smaller developer teams to be able to get games out and have a good quality game.
yeah.
But yeah, so I guess we'll go ahead.
The
and
whole
move on.
thing.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying the whole thing about like the alpha and beta. I can understand having to apply for it and qualifying for it, so you could release information. Oh, I'm playing it and I found a bug in this. But now they're just handing out alphas and beta releases to anybody, and that's not. I don't like that.
Well,
not one bit.
I mean, and a lot of that.
And look at games like DayZ. Have you played DayZ?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have too, and that's not even released yet fully.
Yep.
It's still alpha, but you've got like literally everybody is playing it, and we can't. This game is so buggy. It's this or it's that. It's supposed to be because it's only an alpha release, and you're supposed to apply for it. But they're releasing it to literally anybody that wants to play it.
See, and here's the thing: the evolution to that form of alpha type thing and beta type thing is like I said, because now these games are online games. They're playing. You have large numbers of people playing online together, so the best way to test that, the best way to see how that's going to work is if you get as many people doing it as possible. So, and trying to get people in on, an applied beta, applied alpha are, those are going to be mostly just people who like to just go out and, do alphas and do betas, beta testers, alpha testers, and kind of things like that. Whereas the pre-release type thing, and it's mostly, I mean, it's primarily about them being able to secure funds to continue developing the game. First of all, that's a big thing behind the pre-release, so they can charge people for the game and then be able to put that money back into the game. But it also, like I said, it also allows them to test their online function. If you're having, what would effectively be actual full release people coming in trying to play the game, that's going to test exactly where the holes are in your engine, where the holes are in your network and all that stuff. So there's a reason for that evolution in that sense. So, but and then as with anything, you're going to have other people hopping on that model because it makes money. So you're going to see a lot more developers dropping games in pre-release because it makes money. And I actually would even be willing to say there might be some games out there that are pre-release that are never going to be taken out of pre-release. They're just going to perpetually remain in pre-release because that's why pull it out of pre-release and put it into full release, because it's technically already been fully released. So yep. Let's go ahead and check another article. All right, here we go. We got this one. All right. So this article is also from GameSpot. II Arcade review, an in-home arcade with an ever-growing library. So IIR, that sounds like it's kind of some play on IIRC chat type things, which those are from kind of earlier days of the internet. You had to go to IIRC chat rooms in order to be able to chat on the internet with people. And then as things kind of evolved with the internet, those kind of, they still exist, but they're just not as popular as they used to be. So it's no secret that arcade cabinets take up considerable space, and many of us don't have the room required to create our own home arcades. That's where the II Arcade, a new multicade positioning itself as a jack of all trades comes in. Rather than focusing on a single arcade classic or publisher, II Arcade has a steadily expanding library of titles that you can purchase and download to the cabinet. It's an intriguing premise, to say the least. With a premium feel and great look, the II Arcade has a ton of potential. Its long-term success will largely depend on its library of games, and while the preloaded games are underwhelming, the storefront is steadily growing to include a wide variety of arcade and console games. If you're having trouble deciding on an arcade cabinet for your game room, the II Arcade could very well be the right choice for you. Background and price. Last year, the II Arcade was successfully backed on Kickstarter to the tune of roughly $660,000, with multiple editions promised and more than 200 licensed games on the horizon. I received a 64-gigabyte countertop machine and matching stand for this review, but there are 128 gig versions with artwork from Dragon's Lair, Double Dragon, or Retro Mania Wrestling available as well. Well, that's pretty neat. They're like a legit cabinet, but they're kind of smaller. Okay. If you're used to the prices of arcade one-up cabinets, II Arcade will perhaps cause a bit of a sticker shock. The 64-gigabyte countertop machine costs $599, and adding the stand tacks on an additional $149. The 128 gig editions range from $799 to $819. They come with matching stands and are fitted with official Sanwa joysticks. To be fair, all of these prices were halved for backers as an early bird special, but there's no denying that II Arcade is an investment. At this time, you can only purchase the II Arcade through the official website and B8TA, though it will eventually be available at Amazon and a few other retailers like Touch of Modern. Premium build quality, and let's see. So the control panel has two 8-way Sanwa style joysticks, and one with a red knob and the other with a black knob. The sticks are a tad short, but I think this helps movement retain a tight, responsive feel. Has a 19-inch high-definition display. So performance runs on a custom version of Android. It powers on quickly. It has a responsive menu system with a 1.8 gigahertz hexa-core processor, 800 megahertz max quad-core GPU, and 4 gigabytes of dual-channel RAM. The II Arcade has enough juice under the hood to run classic arcade games, as well as modern titles that use more refined 3D graphics and vivid colors. Games look sharp thanks to the high-definition display, and it cannot be overstated how impressive the speakers are. It's fitted with a pair of 50-watt stereo speakers. You will likely never need to have them running close to even 50%. In fact, the system even warns you that doing so is dangerous. As a test, I cranked the volume all the way up and walked outside. I could still hear game music clearly, more than 100 feet away. It was still quite loud. You can connect headphones to the control panel or via Bluetooth for private listening, which I've done multiple times to save my wife and daughter from hearing my games from the other room. So, and this article goes through and it tells a bunch of different games. You're going to have your arcade classics and some other ones. So here we go. Arcade preloaded games list. So the games cost between $3 and $15, and there's an app for Android, but iOS users have to visit the rudimentary browser storefront to make purchases. It's hard to say whether iArcade's current library makes the price of admission worth it. Before buying, you should absolutely look at the full list of announced games and browse the storefront. If you're hoping to pick up the iArcade and be satisfied with what's available out of the box, you'll undoubtedly be disappointed. Here are the games that come preloaded. Dragon's Lair, Double Dragon, Beach Buggy Racing. I mean, Double Dragon and Beach Buggy Racing were good games. Bomb Squad, Diver Boy, Maniac Square, Gunbird, Twin Brats, Dragon Master, Fancy World, Earth of Crisis, Snowboard Championship. Okay, so really the only two games on there I know are Double Dragon and Beach Buggy Racing.
I remember Beach Buggy Racing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, I mean, all in all, it looks like it'd be a pretty neat gizmo if you're willing to spend $600 on it. So, here's the pros and cons about it. We'll read the bottom line. The iArcade is a well-made cabinet with great feeling joysticks and buttons. The expanding library of games includes some surefire hits as well as plenty of hidden gems. As a centerpiece cabinet capable of housing hundreds of titles, the iArcade has a ton of potential. Whether or not it's right for you depends on if you're interested enough in the game library. If you didn't back the cabinet on Kickstarter, the price is fairly high, and you'll continue to drop more cash on new games, though they are marked at reasonable prices. The iArcade's versatility as a countertop cabinet that can be turned into a nearly full-size standing cabinet allows it to be moved around with ease. Overall, the iArcade is a great option for those who don't want to be locked into a small library of games. If your gaming tastes change, you can add a new game to your library to liven things up. That's the main draw of the iArcade. As a multicade, the iArcade has the potential to be the only cabinet you'll need. The good. Great build quality of premium joysticks and buttons, huge library of games to purchase on the store, and more are being added regularly. Emulation is top-notch, and games look great on the high-definition display. Works wonderfully as either a countertop cabinet or full standing model. The bad. Preloaded games are underwhelming. You can't purchase new games directly from the cabinet. Bland menu undercuts the slick design of the cabinet, and they're pricey. So, what do you think about that there, Niko?
I think it sounds pretty cool.
And you get to talk all you want. So, Sean Revels.
Yeah, I know Sean. That's a friend of mine. I know him. He's a game developer for mobile phone games.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, so there's about that cabinet, the arcade cabinet. What do you think, Niko? Do you want one?
I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, kind of. It seems like it'd make things a little bit more convenient, and
Mhm.
it would be a space saver. Like that's my whole thing.
So,
To
I
save
mean,
space.
yeah, if you're making like a I mean, you figure when it's got the stand on it, I guess it's about the same size as like an actual arcade cabinet. So, but if you don't put the stand, you can just put it on a countertop and play from the countertop. But so,
If anybody's wondering, if I may, if anybody's wondering what Sean Rebels is talking about when he's talking about Squadron, Squadron is a new social media app that him and Emery King, which is another good friend of mine, Emery King. If you've heard of him, you probably have. They've been working on. It's kind of like Facebook, except it's not. You'll never be put in jail for it, for anything that you post on it. So, yeah, you can, I guess check that out.
cool. So yeah, check that stuff out. So, um, so I guess we will talk about this one. So, I don't know too much about the show. You might, Niko, but we'll go ahead and read
What
this
show?
article real quick. It's about WandaVision. So,
I haven't even I have not watched any of it.
okay, well, I'll read the
No.
article and we'll give what input we can. Don knows all these things, so that this would be more for him. But so will there be a WandaVision season 2? Here's what Marvel had to say. We might have to make do with WandaVision reruns. So same time again next year. Ordinarily, WandaVision season 2 would be a guarantee. It is, after all, one of Disney Plus's most successful series, and has proven Marvel Studios can do for superheroes on streaming what it's done for over a decade in theaters. But while the continuation of Wanda's story and WandaVision season 2 seems like a natural next step, it's actually going to take place elsewhere. In fact, Marvel has been surprisingly open about whether a new season is going to become a reality or if the sitcom steps into Westview are a one and done affair. So let's break down everything that has been said about WandaVision season 2 so far and why the series isn't likely to return for now. So, and we will warn you if WandaVision is a show that you watch and all that stuff. This apparently does have spoilers. So, WandaVision season 2, is it happening? So, yeah. So this is gonna have spoilers for the WandaVision finale. In a word, no. Director Matt Shakeman has been forthright on the possibilities of WandaVision season 2 streaming on Disney Plus. We have no plans for WandaVision season 2 at all, Shackman told Collider. But that's not to say it will never happen. Shackman continued, that could change, of course. It all depends on what's the story. We were very focused on telling this story over 9 episodes and hopefully coming to a conclusion that feels satisfying and also surprising. Similarly, Kevin Feige has opened up on whether Marvel has plans for a second season of any of its shows, from WandaVision to Loki. Speaking at the Television Critics Association tour, Feige said it will vary based on the story. Sometimes it'll go into a season 2, sometimes it'll go into a feature and back into a series. He did admit, however, that he's been at Marvel too long to say a definite yes or a definite no to anything, and we hope there's a part 2 and part 3 to WandaVision, but we're focusing on part 1. Watch this space. So, does the WandaVision finale set up season 2? For starters, the 9th and final episode is called series finale and not season finale. you can probably guess where this is going. That being said, there are a few loose ends that could be tied up in WandaVision Season 2 should it happen. The fate of White Vision is one that, as far as we're aware, won't be expanded upon in any upcoming movies in Marvel Phase 4. There's absolutely scope for a Vision spinoff, but a second season in Westview isn't likely for the time being. Instead, Wanda's story will continue in at least one Marvel movie. Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch is set to appear in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness in 2022. Page has confirmed on multiple occasions that Olsen will have a role to play in the Sam Raimi directed movie, and the post-credit scene in the finale with Wanda using the Darkhold to harness her magical powers to previously untold levels appears to bear that out. From there, there's every chance it could bounce back to Disney Plus, as Phage mentioned, depending on how the Strange sequel comes to a close. What's next? Here are all the new Marvel TV shows coming your way in 2021 and beyond. So, yeah. What do you think of that there, Niko?
I don't know. Because I haven't been watching WandaVision. It just my whole thing. Like I said last week, I'm a DC guy.
Mm-hmm.
The MCU is just not. It's not my bag, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've
I
always
wish they
been
had something. I wish they would. I wish DC would come out with something like this, like with Batman, or
yeah.
You know?
Well, they kind of do because like they're working on trying to do it with Batman and Superman and all that stuff. They're just for whatever reason DC doesn't seem like it's ever been as good with what like Marvel's done with the whole universe thing, the whole Marvel universe. I've always been more of a Marvel fan myself, but I never really got hardcore into it. So, and it's like it seems like over the last few years with the whole Marvel universe and the movies and all that stuff, they're starting to get real deep into it because, you know, even there was that one TV show about the Avengers, but it had, you know what I'm talking about? It was like they were not the superheroes; they were just like normal people, but they were the like agents.
It was a TV show.
Yeah.
No.
So I can't remember what it was called. They've had a bunch of different TV shows, but it's like it seems like. Mm-hmm. It's like it seems like what they're trying to do is they're trying to like just keep the whole MCU story in like a solid loop, incorporating like TV shows and movies and just kind of looping and threading its way between all of it.
I want to say that I know what the show is that you're talking about, but
It's like I think it was actually called Agents of Something or something like that.
I want to look it on my phone, but I can't because it's my camera.
I could do that. I got my phone right here.
No, you can. Well, okay. There it is.
Oh, I've got my computer also.
I mean, I do too, but I don't have a camera on my computer. Like, I'm using my phone as my camera. So there it is.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There it is. Duh.
I have heard of that, but I didn't know it was that.
Mm-hmm. So it's part of the whole MCU universe and all that stuff. And they've been doing that with, and they have several other shows that they've done that with. So it's like it went from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then they had another like series that was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it was like focusing on an individual agent. And then, you know, is coming back around, and now they're doing WandaVision, and they're talking about they might be doing other TV shows. It's almost like they're just trying to interweave everything just to get the whole story just kind of that immersive.
Yeah, well, they need to do that with Batman too, because Jesus
And I
Christ.
don't.
I'm not even talking about the animated shit. Like they
Mhm.
need to do that. They need to make like an ongoing series with Batman because Batman's my guy, man.
Mhm.
That's I love Batman. Like if we need to reanimate Heath Ledger so he can come
Yeah,
back as Batman. Oh my God, was he not the best Batman? The best Joker.
I'll have to agree with that.
Oh
So
God. And fuck, what's his name? The fucking Jared Leto. Yeah, fuck
yep.
you, Jared Leto. I hope you're watching this right now because this one's for you, fucker.
he
I
was
hate you. I
he
hate you.
was
Were
in
the
fact a
worst
shitty
Joker
ass
ever. I didn't even
Joker.
like Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, but you know what? I didn't like you more, Jared Leto. Fuck
Well,
you.
and the whole thing with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is that was actually a completely kind of different thing.
I
So
know. I know. It was a standalone, and I get
yeah,
that. I
and
do. I get
it was
that.
also more precautionary tale on mental health and suicide and those kinds of things is what
Yes,
that was. It
it
just
was.
used the premise of Joker and all that to kind of get that across. I
And
haven't seen it.
I like Joker. I like
Mhm,
that. I like Joaquin Phoenix, that Joker. I like that movie. I did.
mhm. So
I
it's like,
fucking hated Suicide Squad, but I only hated Suicide Squad because of Jared Leto's Joker.
yeah, I
Margot
can.
Robbie's Harley Quinn. Oh my God, I wanted her to do that. Margot Robbie could be the Betty White of Harley Quinn, and it'd be like, that's Harley Quinn, straight up, all day long. At 97,000 fucking years old, that's still Harley Quinn. I don't care.
Right. So, and it's like, and I think the reason people are so butthurt about like Suicide Squad is because they just went so like off of everything with like Jared Leto as Joker and all that stuff. It's like he's like some thuggish gangsta, and that's not what
That's not the
Joker.
Joker.
Yeah, and it's
Never
like
been Joker.
so, and I think the reason people dislike Suicide Squad because of that is because Suicide Squad was like actually supposed to be part of the canon. It's part of that whole, the whole storyline and all that stuff. And they're like, "What's this fucking Joker right here?" It's like, and whereas
No,
the Joker wasn't technically really supposed to be
no.
any canon with the Batman and Joker stuff, but I did hear actually in some sort of sequel to Joker, they're gonna be having Batman in it or something. I don't know because the
Wait, the
events,
Joaquin Phoenix Joker,
yeah,
or
because the events in Joker with Joaquin Phoenix happened at a time period when Batman would have been a kid, and I guess
well,
there's a
yeah, no, the end of it was
with Batman as a
with
kid.
Batman's parents when
Mhm.
they got killed, when they were killed.
Okay, yeah. So,
The end
and
of that Joker, yeah.
I
So
have I have heard things about there being another movie that's actually going to have Batman and all that stuff in it.
yes,
So,
please, yes,
so
please.
and so and then I don't know in what universe because Ben Affleck as Batman is in the Suicide Squad kind of rotation of movies, right?
I didn't. Yeah, he was in Batman versus Superman, and yeah, okay. I'm gonna be the pessimist. I'm gonna be asshole about that. I didn't care for Ben Affleck as Batman either. He's not Batman. He's
Mhm.
not Batman just as much as Jared Leto is not Joker.
Oh,
Like
that's
my
what it
God,
is.
they still could have got Christian Bale as Batman for Batman
Mhm.
versus Superman.
I
There's no
think
reason why Christian Bale would have turned that job down.
I'd heard they said that Michael Keaton was going to play Batman for the Batman movie following Joker. Because I
That
know
would
I
be
heard.
fine. That would be fine, but he's old now. Michael
Mhm.
Keaton was Batman in what the
Well,
late '80s,
Michael
early
Keaton.
'90s.
It's already been confirmed. Michael Keaton is going to be playing Batman again in another movie. So, but
It's
I'm not
been
sure
30
which one it is.
years.
Yep, but the guy who was involved with Batman that Michael Keaton said he wasn't going to play Batman again until he was died. So Mike Keaton's like, I'm going to play Batman.
Why Christian Bale? Oh my God, Christian Bale. We need you back, bud. You were Batman. You were Batman. Yeah, Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton was great. He was amazing. Jack Nicholson was a great Joker, but they're too goddamn old.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Bale, we need you to come back. Okay, please.
Okay. So this is curious. So I'm gonna read the article on this. So DC has confirmed Michael Keaton will once again don the cowl as Batman alongside Ben Affleck in the 2022 film The Flash, as the studio attempts to establish a Caped Crusader multiverse. It's all a little complicated and details aren't exactly crystal clear at this stage, but bear with us. So, yep. So yeah, he is going to be playing Batman again.
Who is?
Michael Keaton
is?
Yep.
Okay,
So-
well then, what is Ben Affleck doing? Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck is also going to be. Apparently, they're doing a Batman multiverse. So
there's going to be two Batman in one
So
movie.
yeah, this article, like it. So I didn't read the whole article, just the kind of intro paragraph. But let's see what it has to say about it. In an interview with the New York Times, DC Film President Walter Hamada alluded to plans to introduce parallel worlds wherein different versions of the superhero exist simultaneously, in a similar model to Marvel's Spider-Man. Confirming Ben Affleck will reprise his role one last time as the Caped Crusader in the upcoming Ezra Miller-led The Flash movie. Hamada suggests Keaton, who starred as the Bat in Tim Burton's now revered 1989 Batman, will also feature as an older Bruce Wayne in a role similar to Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's not exactly new news. We previously reported that it was likely Keaton would return as the Bat in the upcoming Flash movie, but Hamada's recent comments have all but confirmed what was merely a hotly touted rumor, and added in the surprising news that Affleck, who famously jettisoned his own plans for a standalone Batman movie, will star alongside the 69-year-old actor. Jesus, he's almost 70.
Who is Christian Bale?
No, Michael Keaton. He's 69 years old.
No, that's Christian Bale. Christian Bale is Batman. No, I know. No, nothing. I'm talking shit. No, yeah, Michael Keaton he's old as shit though. Another reason why he shouldn't be playing Batman.
But what it sounded like is Michael Keaton. He's still going to be Batman, but he's going to be kind of more of a kind of, what's the word I'm fucking looking for? It said like Samuel L. Jackson's character in the Marvel universe. He is kind of like leading the crew, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to.
So he's older. He's older and retired, but he's more of like a mentor.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Jesus Christ.
Fuck. Get it together, bud.
I know. My freaking vocabulary just went like, fuck you. I'm going on vacation.
Brain fart.
All right. So, give me 1 second and I'll read a little more of this article. So, it says, it's a move from the studio that hopes to rectify a major problem posed by the recent string of critically condemned but commercially successful DCU movies. Zack Snyder's Batman v Superman and Justice League left critics unimpressed and polarized fans of the comics, but nonetheless introduced a swath of highly bankable DC characters who have since received their own standalone titles. Wonder Woman and Aquaman among them. I heard the Wonder Woman movies were pretty much flops too.
I saw 1980. was it 1984?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't bad.
See,
It wasn't great. I wouldn't nominate it for movie of the year,
mm-hmm.
but it wasn't bad. Like I would watch it again in like a year or two.
Okay. Yeah, I heard a lot of people's complaints about it is it was pushing way too much politics. It was like, yeah. So
Yeah, it did. It did kind of heavily emphasize on politics.
mm-hmm.
But as far as the story itself, not bad. Not great.
Okay.
Not great,
Mm-hmm.
but
It's
not
like
bad.
I don't know. Unless it's a movie specifically intended to have, some sort of focus on politics. I don't want my movies to have all this politics. And like, I kind of feel the same way about TV shows. Because like Desiree and I was kind of a little bit with her, but we were watching Riverdale, which is it's a dark drama type show that is loosely based off of the Archie comics.
What? Yeah, I was just gonna ask. Wouldn't that? Isn't that bit like Archie and Jughead and all those from
Mhm.
like the what? Where are those comics from? The 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm. So, and it's actually a pretty good show, but it's got lots of kind of political type things in it. It's like it's pushing transgender stuff and it's kind of pushing homosexuality stuff, which I am okay with, but it's like it. I don't
That's fine and
want it
all,
to
but
be.
they never had that. This was started like before you and I were even born.
Mhm.
Was those comics, and they
Yeah.
didn't have those issues back
Mhm.
then. So why the fuck would you bring it out now?
And that's kind of my thought on it, but the rest of they didn't. The whole show wasn't like slathered with it, but it was there, and it kind of irritated me a little bit. But for the most part, the show itself was good enough that I could overlook it.
Right.
So, but
I'm gonna leave the studio just for a second and come back
Okay.
on my phone because I got a AP and I need a cigarette. So
Okay, I'll finish reading this article.
10-4.
Cool. So, Wonder Woman and Aquaman among them. At the same time, other filmmakers were developing DC projects based in universes wholly detached from Snyder's, meaning Hamada, who took over the studio in 2018, was faced with the challenge of fostering the coexistence of all these movies and characters without anyone contradicting the other. In a concept already in full swing over at Marvel Studios, the third Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man film will reportedly reintroduce Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield alongside Tom Holland's web-slinger. DC has opted to pursue the multiverse idea. In short, some characters, Henry Cavill's Superman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, will occupy Earth 1, while newer incarnations, Pattinson's Batman, for instance, will exist in Earth 2. They are separate universes, meaning the actions of one character won't impact the actions of their equivalent character in a different universe. The Flash movie, Hamada says, will link the two, meaning we could see three different Batmen, Keaton, Affleck, and Pattinson, existing in the same world. We just don't know how yet. I don't think anyone else has ever attempted the multiverse concept on screen, Hamada said in the interview, but audiences are sophisticated enough to understand it. If we make good movies, they will go with it. Making good movies has been the studio's problem ever since Christopher Nolan's series, The Dark Knight trilogy, concluded in 2012. Todd Phillips' Joker was, as befits DC, the most polarizing film of 2019. And rumors are still floating as to whether Pattinson's Batman will, in some capacity, confront Joaquin Phoenix's Clown Prince of Crime. Oh, so it's Robert Pattinson.
Excuse me. Am I in here? Am I in here?
You're in here.
Can I be heard? Okay. Okay. I've already gave my opinion about Ben Affleck being Batman. I would rather I would rather Ben Affleck dress up as Batman and shove this dirty swimming pool inside my anus than watch a sparkling vampire be Batman.
So, from what I've heard, people saying is he's actually pretty good as Batman. So, I don't
I
know.
don't care what you heard. No. Because no. No. Because he can't go out in sunlight. He's going to sparkle.
Sparkle as a bat. From
Yeah,
vampire to
well.
bat. So, but
I'll be so
Michael
mad.
Keaton will in fact be Batman again.
Good. Okay, that's fine. I can understand that. That's great. Maybe we can bring Michael Keaton back. Oh God. They're gonna be what? I wish you would. I wish you would. Sorry.
So I'm starting to get a little low on the stories. I got one more. So, this is a live science article. They tend to be very long and very wordy. Oh, this one's actually pretty short. Okay. So exceptional Renaissance armor stolen from the Louvre 40 years ago is finally returned. The elaborately decorated
Huh? What did you say? It was stolen from what?
From the Louvre?
Oh, the Louvre, the museum in France. I thought you said the loo, like as in loo, like the bathroom. And I'm like,
okay.
What? Where do they do that
at? The elaborately decorated breastplate and helmet date to the 16th century. So 2 pieces of ornate 16th century armor have returned to the Louvre after a nearly 4-decade absence. The elaborate breastplate and helmet were stolen from the renowned Paris Museum on May 31st, 1983, and then vanished for the next 38 years. Forged in Milan during the Italian Renaissance between 1560 and 1580, the metal armor was inlaid with gold and silver and is estimated to be worth about $603,000. The Agence France Presse on March 3rd, reported on March 3rd. In January, a military antiquities expert spotted the armor after he was hired by an auctioneer for an estate auction appraisal in Bordeaux, France. He was suspicious about the armor's origins, so he notified officials with the French Central Office for the fight against trafficking in cultural goods, a special police unit for tracking stolen property of historical and cultural importance. Authorities then identified the missing armor from a list maintained by Trema, an electronic database of stolen objects. France's Trema database contains approximately 110,000 photos linked to 32,000 open cases, stolen artworks, and artifacts. Intricate designs on the helmet and breastplate identify them as prestige weapons made with virtuosity, sort of the equivalent of a luxury car today. Philip Malgorez, the Louvre's head of heritage artworks, told the AFP. The 2 pieces, which Malgorez hailed as exceptional, were donated to the Louvre in 1922 by the Rothschild family, one of the world's wealthiest banking dynasties during the 19th and early 20th centuries, according to Today 24 News.
Trillionaires.
Mm-hmm.
The only trillionaires in the world.
Yep. I was certain we would see them reappear one day because they are such singular objects, Malgorez told the AFP, but I could never have imagined that it would work out so well, that they would be in France and still together. I was certain we would see them reappear one day because they are such singular. Oh, okay, that's just a quote. And the theft of the armor wasn't the Louvre's greatest art heist. In 1911, Vincenzo Perugia stole the museum's famous Mona Lisa painting and managed to evade capture for 2 years. As for how the Italian armor was stolen in the first place, that puzzle is yet to be solved, as the events of that long ago caper are still shrouded in mystery, the AFP reported. And that is the end of the article.
That is so crazy that they were actually how do they trace back that far, like the authenticity of that? Like how were they able to tell? Yeah, this is from this is hundreds of years old. Like
so
that's so insane to me.
Through metallurgy, so they can actually test the metals for certain compounds and all that stuff. So, like for example, after the day we dropped the first the nuclear weapon, testing the first nuclear weapon, from that point forward, all metals created have had trace of the radiation from the weapons. So you can test the metallurgy of the metal, and if you see those nuclear, my freaking vocabulary is so shit today, but you see those nuclear traces inside the metal, they're from after that period of time, and then they can test for other stuff and kind of nail it down a little bit more. And if that stuff doesn't exist, it's from before there. Plus, they can test the metals for other types of compounds to get a geographical location of where it's from. So this armor was supposed to be crafted in Spain, so they can test the metal, match it to mines that either exist or once existed in those areas to see if it matches what it would have come from there. So they can pinpoint down the age of the armor and where it was made and all that stuff pretty accurately just by testing it.
Oh, that's so crazy. It just. I mean, I know we have the technology for that, but it's still, just to think about it, is it not just the most mind blowing thing ever?
It's like the fact that they can narrow it down to specific mines that, like, and it could possibly be a mine that it doesn't exist anymore. It's a mine that once was there, but there's actually databases of ancient mines where they used to be and all that stuff, and it's all really interesting, really cool stuff.
I know. Yeah, it's mind blowing.
So
yeah, it leaves me like speechless. Like I can't believe, like, they literally said, you know what, this is from this, and we're gonna charge you $600,000 fucking dollars for it because you stole it.
And then that also, as it said in the article, that armor was a prestige piece. It was crafted to be like a decorative piece of armor. So it was something that they'd only wear like ceremonies or for special events and stuff like that. Yeah. And so that would tell me it was probably kept and protected pretty well. And it wasn't until it was handed down. People owned it, and it was donated by the Rothschilds, it said. So I'd assume it was probably in their family for quite some time. So, but that's all I've got as far as stories today. And we've got that meeting to get to and all that stuff here in a little bit. So
yeah,
I am going. Yeah, we got a half hour. So we'll go ahead and cut early, so I can get ready to go to the meeting and as with you. So, with all that said, make sure you check us out on Facebook. Check out the WOHQ. We got some information there on the Last Comic Standing. We'll also release information there about Warrior Fest when we get it. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, all that good stuff. I'm Athen.
And I'm Niko.
Y'all have a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch you next week.
Bye-bye.